Hello everyone, welcome to this week's review, and the book of this week is The Maze Runner by James Dashner, also a major motion picture. So this book has, gotta refer to my notes, 374 pages. It was released on October 6th, 2009. Okay? At the time that I started reading this book, I had a vague inkling that it was even a movie. I hadn't even seen the film. I saw a box set for the 5 books, and I bought them with no real prior knowledge of it or any desire to read it until I kind of saw this box set. It was a decent price and it seemed intriguing to me. So this review will not be compared to the movie. I'll probably do that in another video. I have lots to say about that. I ended up watching the film after I read this book. I have lots to say about it. But anyway, this is the book review of The Maze Runner. So it's about a boy named Thomas. He wakes up with zero memories. Well, sorry, not zero memories. Parts of his memories are gone, fragmented. He doesn't know anything about his past, but for some reason he knows what things are, like foods, and he's functioning as a person, but he just can't remember anything for some reason. But he knows his name is Thomas. He wakes up in some kind of elevator shaft, and a bunch of boys are around him. And if there was a way not to spoil this book, I wish I could review it without spoiling it, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of spoiling without too much. Obviously, it's called The Maze Runner, so he's in a maze. These boys are living in an area of the maze that's called the Glade. The walls of the Glade close every night. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole plot besides that, okay? Obviously, the goal is to get out of the maze. Why was this book so intriguing for me? Because I felt like as I'm reading it, it's in the third-person perspective, but always following Thomas. But I felt like as I'm reading it, I felt like I am Thomas, the character. Because he absolutely knows nothing. He is piecing things together. He asks questions, and especially early on, the other boys do not want to tell him anything. They're reluctant to share information. He has to kind of dig for it. The narrative is really good in the sense of describing how he's digging for the information and like if he's pressing too much or things like that. And the pacing of the book is really good too, because it's like as soon as he gets in the maze, things start to go down. Like the next day, first of all, a new boy gets sent to the maze every month. The day after Thomas arrives, a girl shows up. Never before was there a girl, and never has there been more than one new person each month. All of a sudden there's a new person, and it's a girl the very next day after Thomas shows up. So now everyone's like shady. Like Thomas is like, they're very suspicious of Thomas because it's like, oh, all of a sudden, all these weird things are starting to happen. Also, there's these monsters called grievers, which I wish I knew more about because I'm hoping there's some form later on in the series, but the way they're described and when they show up in the book, especially like at one specific part, it's like they're so menacing. Like the tension as he's trying to like save the leader of the pack of these boys. He's trying to save him, and this monster griever thing, it's like half mechanical, half like described kind of like a slug, is like just slowly getting closer, and like there's this moment of tension where it's like he's right under them because he kind of climbed up, and Thomas thinks that he can't be seen by this monster, and then all of a sudden the monster starts climbing up. And I love that how that part was written. Like I actually felt like, wow, this could really be a movie. It is a movie. It is a film. Don't get me started. Honestly, I'm already revealing my opinion on that, but like, don't get me started on that. I will talk about that in another video. Anyway, so this mystery keeps unraveling, and each day that passes, Thomas is breaking the traditions of this place. He's breaking their rules. He's kind of pushing them out of their own comfort zone, because for 2 years, these boys have survived on doing the same things over and over again, and nothing changes. And even at some point, some of the characters are like, it's always the same. Nothing changes. It's always the same. We tried everything. We tried that. Nothing changes. No one survives that night. No one survives this. Right? So Thomas comes in and he's already like, what about if we try this? What if we do that? He's already pushing the mold, pushing the barriers. And then the creators of the maze start pushing back, where things are changing now. And when the girl arrives, Teresa, you find out her name later in the book, she wakes up for 2 seconds, says everything's about to change, something like that, and then passes out again, and she's in a coma for a good majority of the book. Anyway, I think I captured the essence. The setting of the book is this maze in an unknown place, and there's a lot of intrigue because there's this maze. The boys have to figure out how to get out of it, and at the same time, it's like whoever's in charge of this maze is obviously not trying to kill them, or not trying to kill all of them anyway, because they provide everything they need. If they need food, if they need anything, they can request things. Obviously, if they don't want to fulfill the request, they won't. But the boys know they're always being watched. There's these little creatures that are mechanical around they know they're being watched. There's signs that have this weird anagram, something world in catastrophe, kill zone experiment department or something like that. Anyway, and it's like all these little things, hints, and Thomas is seeing them, and even the boys, they're in the same boat as Thomas because they don't have any memories before this maze. So if Thomas has questions about why they're there, they can't answer him. But still, they won't answer him earlier on, especially. He has to really earn their place among them, and he does that throughout the book. That's why I feel it's like such a good book, because he comes in there as a nobody. He doesn't know anything. He's the newbie. He's the green bean. He's the greenie, whatever their slang is. And he has to earn his place among them in a short amount of time while pushing the barriers and breaking their rules and gaining their trust. And he doesn't even know how to trust among them either. Also, there's a few little shady things that are happening in like the overarching story. And you get, especially in this book, you get very little hints as to what's really going on. Why are these boys in this maze? And then the end of the book kind of happens with this somewhat of a victory, yet it's a cliffhanger. And I love how the book ended. I'm not going to spoil exactly, but instead of it being from Thomas's perspective, the last like afterword or whatever it's called is a memo from someone from an organization saying how things are moving along with this, let's call it an experiment, because that's kind of what it is. So yeah, that's The Maze Runner. And it leads into the next book, which is already a film also, which is called The Scourge Trials, which I've already read, but I will review later on. And I highly recommend reading this book if you haven't. And if you have watched the movie, erase that from your memory and read this book. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Thanks for watching this review. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, please like. And I'm happy to hear read your comments, not hear them. That would be interesting. I'm happy to read your comments. If you have any book recommendations, I'm open to them. And see you guys next time. Take care.